was just banned in games generally. Like, it's just everyone just relies on it. Like, oh, we need to make this more visible. Add a Fresnel glow to it. Like, it's just this freaking. It's a cancer in games generally. Sorry, this is just a random side rant from me, but I just hate the fact that everyone lazily goes to Fresnel glow and freaking everything.
Fair enough. Last question related to visuals. So visual effects in co-op can be very difficult. You know, you got people spamming lots of shit around. Any opinions on toggling other people's visual effects, etc.?
I don't want to add an option like that, but there is probably more we can do automatically for that kind of stuff.
There'll be some engine-based things we can do.
Yeah, there will be. There's probably more we can do, and just like that. But in my opinion, it should be automatic, and like you shouldn't even really be thinking about it. It should just happen. Like I'm not a fan of just like, oh, turn off all the effects. Like I'm just, it's kind of lame to me.
Fair enough. Disenchanting flasks for quality. They're one of the things you can't salvage in the game currently in order to get like the quality baubles back that you'll be able to do on flasks.
Right.
Is this intended?
Is there really any reason why we shouldn't do that? I know you were like, oh, it's because it doesn't thematically fit with a hammer on a bench. Just smash the glass.
I think that's why it is, but like, I have nothing against adding it.
Yeah. We can probably change that, right? Like
I think it was more like, let's do something interesting for Flask salvaging and crafting later and save that, but we can add it for now.
We should just add it. I have no problem with adding it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Baubles.
So we should probably nerf the drop rate of Flask slightly at high levels. That's just a random note
They're
that I
so
was thinking about
common
yesterday.
at high
I was
levels.
picking up tons of Flasks.
Yeah.
Random side note. But
We've almost got all of them. Checkpoints and maps.
But it is kind of nice. You can't alt
backtrack in
them.
maps.
So.
How do you feel about that?
So not for resurrecting purposes,
just for fast travel.
purposes.
It's not a terrible idea. I'd have to think a little bit about how we would position those.
I don't like.
I'm not against it necessarily. I guess the feeling is that there's not so many like objectives in maps in the same way.
When you do those linear maps and you missed a rare monster, you want to go play something else for a while.
You're right. But, so we should probably do something about this, but I don't have an exact understanding of what we'd need to do perfectly.
Sure.
Yeah.
On the table, however. Okay. Being able to see gems without cutting. Currently, like you got to cut the gem to look at the list of skills.
I don't really have anything against it, but where the hell does the option go? I'll think about that. I'm not really against that.
Yeah. Maybe on the
G
G button,
an
top,
NPC in the campaign or something.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Gambler in the hideout. We have all the other vendors, but we don't have like a gambler in the hideout. For instance, like Alva normally does.
The reason for that, what was there was something very broken at the end, and we quickly turned it off. But I think we just need to fix one thing and then turn it back on. There was something very bad exploitation tier, and so we were just like disable. It's like 10 minutes until deployment kind of thing.
4 left, and we got through all of them. Okay, so Venom Quest is currently the only one that you can't reselect the reward. So, for instance, you can reselect like the Titan Dome with the Life Flask or the Charm Duration. You can't select from like Chaos to Attributes or whatever. Any opinions on keeping that permanent, or can we reselect?
I want to add a way to change that, which I know people might be like, well, hold on, then why don't you want to allow a way to change ascendancies? And the answer is I don't know. That's just how I feel. But
it's how I feel.
I might feel differently later. But yes, I do want to add a way to change that for sure.
Okay, movement speed on boots. Any feelings about having them be implicit, or basically movement speed mandatory on boots, or else you're really slowed down. So, how you guys feel about moving movement speed to implicits, or do you have any feelings on movement speed on boots?
I don't think it's necessarily a problem to have a mod that's really, really valuable on an item that you definitely want to go for. Like, boots are certainly the case where that's like the most extreme, but I don't necessarily think it's a problem as such. So, like
move speed should be a little more common.
I personally don't have a problem.
Just like how they're nerfing accuracy weighting.
I like
life on killing weapons. Just make it like a little
I think
more
it's
common.
good.
If you added move speed implicitly to boots, would you then be like, okay, well, like IPD on weapons, like you start to get into funny territory in some sense, right? We're like, so anyway, that's kind of our feeling on it.
Last two, UI customization options. Is that potential?